Hello YouTubers and welcome back to the channel. I'm back on site at the Whitchurch Canal breach. The incident. It was 4 AM on Monday, December 22nd, 2025. In the quiet chemistry area of Whitchurch, the only sound should have been the gentle lap of the Llangollen Canal against the hulls of sleeping narrowboats. But for Paul Stowe and his family aboard the pacemaker, the silence was shattered by a roar like Niagara Falls. Within 20 minutes, a 200-year-old artificial embankment simply vanished. Millions of gallons of water surged into the surrounding Shropshire fields, carving out a 50-metre-long crater, a breach hole that looked more like the aftermath of an implosion. As the water level plummeted, the ground gave way. This wasn't just a leak. It was a catastrophic failure of engineering that had held firm since the days of the Industrial Revolution. In the dark of the early morning, lives were turned upside down just days before Christmas. The immediate rescue. The scale of the disaster was immediate. Two narrowboats, the Sefton and the Ganymede, were swept directly into the abyss, coming to rest at the bottom of the muddy crater. Paul Stowe's boat, the Pacemaker, was left teetering precariously over the edge, its stern hanging over a 40-foot drop. Emergency services declared a major incident by 5:15 AM. Over 50 firefighters from across Shropshire arrived to a scene of chaos, unstable ground, rushing water, and families scrambling to safety in the dark. 10 people, including Paul, his wife, son, and their 2 cats, were rescued from the brink. Remarkably, despite the waterfall of debris and the suddenness of the collapse, no injuries were reported. For the boaters, the trauma was profound. They weren't just losing a hobby, they were watching their homes slide into the earth. The community responds. But as the water drained away, the community stepped in. The spirit of the Shropshire waterways shone through the winter gloom. While some boaters were moved to a welfare centre at the old Whitchurch police station, local businesses didn't wait to be asked. Cheshire Cat Narrowboat Holidays and Norbury Wharf immediately prepared heated boats from their winter fleets, offering them as free emergency housing. A crowdfunder launched by the boating community quickly surged past £100,000 to help those who had lost everything. Even the local Lockside Cafe, despite losing 70% of its trade due to the canal closure, became a hub of support. This wasn't just an engineering problem, it was a human one, and Whitchurch met it with open arms. The long recovery and challenges. By early January 2026, the focus shifted from rescue to recovery. The Canal and River Trust faced a multi-million-pound puzzle. The first victory came just days ago. Using a specialist 5-metre tracked winch brought in from Leicestershire, engineers successfully hauled the Pacemaker away from the precipice. On January 13th, she was finally refloated in a temporary dam, allowing Paul Stowe to step back on board for the first time. On January 15th, drone footage captured the next major milestone, the Ganymede being winched up a specially constructed ramp out of the mud. But the road ahead is long. Investigators are still looking for the why. Was it the soluble halite rock beneath the surface? Was it the record-breaking rainfall of Storm Goretti? Or simply the inevitable fatigue of an embankment built for horse-drawn barges, now carrying the weight of modern travel and the effects of climate change? The Llangollen Canal is a vital artery, not just for tourism, but as a critical path for the public water supply. Keeping the water flowing around the breach via pumps is now a 24/7 operation. Conclusion. As we stand here in mid-January, the gap in the Llangollen Canal remains a stark reminder of our heritage's fragility. The Canal and River Trust estimates it could take the rest of the year to fully rebuild the embankment and reopen the navigation. It is a story of a 200-year-old embankment that failed, and a community that didn't. The breach hole at Whitchurch will eventually be filled with clay and stone, but the memory of the night the canal fell, and the weeks the town stood together, will remain part of the waterway's history forever. Thank you for following this story with me, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.